Hi, I'm Blake from baaelectronics, and I noticed just a little bitty thing different. I finally got a lavalier microphone for my YouTube videos. That is not the purpose of this video. On my previous video, Blake's electronic workbench, there was a thing that like this, and my friend at school told me he was probably gonna get one of these, and he said he would like to learn how to drive it and how to like set it up and stuff. So whoever's watching this video and whoever needs to or whatever wants to, this video might be for you if you have a quadcopter, like to learn just a little bit more about it. I'm going to show you how to set up and fly a 2011 version DJI Phantom quadcopter. Now, every quadcopter is different. This is just the quadcopter that I have, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. I can always, obviously each quadcopter setup is different, but they're all pretty similar. So, let's get started. Okay, so like I said a couple seconds ago, every quadcopter is different, but I'm just gonna try and explain all the basics, how to set up. So on most quadcopters, propellers will come pre-installed, but if they're not, some quadcopters either have twist-off propellers, which is the kind that mine has. Some of them have clip-on propellers, so you can refer to your instruction manual on how to install your specific set of propellers, but most of them are pretty easy to install. I'm pretty sure any of you who are watching this video can pretty easily install it. And so on the slightly more expensive, like aerial photography quadcopters, which is what this one is, there's always a couple safety features. There's usually safety features on all of them. This one has a GPS, altimeter, and compass. And those come pretty much pre-set up. You just have to install them. A couple screws on here, GPS and altimeter are internal. And in the case of these DJI Phantom quadcopters, they take these weird batteries. I bought 3 of them to get more flight time. And so plug in the battery, of course when you're outside, and some you can calibrate using a computer, or still on, and some of them you don't have to calibrate at all. Might just have to move the sticks around a little bit, or refer to your instruction manual on how to set up your specific type. But in the case of this one, you will need to calibrate it using a computer or something with the supplied USB cable. Software's pretty easy. There are presets. Select like a default preset, and once you're sure that everything's pretty much ready to go, let's on to some other sides of this thing. Not physical sides, but like different parts. Okay, so now some pretty obvious parts. Some other pretty obvious parts that I'm gonna talk about, of course, is remote. Most remotes have a altitude stick and a directional stick. And the altitude stick, push it down, goes down, push it up, goes up, and turn it sideways. Some of them have rotation axis, where I actually rotate it horizontally. But directional, they'll kind of just move it like that. so it won't rotate it or affect altitude or anything. So it's just changing directions or going in the direction that you put the remote to. In the case of these DJI Phantoms, there's also three other components of the remote. There's a GPS and ATTI mode switcher, which in the DJI Phantom, the GPS will, of course, allow the GPS to take control. The other mode is called attitude mode. I know it's a pretty funny name, but it actually does make sense because it does exactly what the remote tells it to do. GPS, compass, and altimeter won't affect it, kind of like total manual mode. I leave it on GPS. This other one, it's a 3 selector. There's off, CL, and HL. Off is, this won't take control of anything. There's course lock and home lock. Now, of course, you might not have those functions depending on which one you have. But you can refer to your owner's manual. If you have something similar to this, then that's pretty much it. On the back, I haven't gotten a piece for this yet. There's a knob here. This is to adjust tilt of a camera tilter gimbal, brushless servo gimbal thing that keeps the camera level instead of tilting with the quadcopter. Now these usually go for about $300 to $400, and I don't want to spend that much money on something just to keep my camera level, because I can always do that digitally. Doesn't look as good, but it's free. And so the tilt knob does that. I don't mess with tilt knob. Some quadcopters have their own cameras. Other quadcopters have to put a camera on it. I use a Hero 3 Plus Silver Edition GoPro camera, and flip the video upside down, and it'll records like this. Attaches to the bottom here. There's a little strap for this. Now these older quadcopters are made for an older version of GoPro. Of course, this was, got it this year, beginning of this year, before the Hero 4 came out. I think it was when the Hero 4 came out, can't remember. But Hero 3 Plus can fit any camera on it, as long as it has one of these pieces here, the 2-prong with the hole in the middle. Put the pin through it, put a little attacher on the end, and you're good to go. I think that's it for the drone stuff, like the actual quadcopter itself. So I'm gonna go put some cameras on the remote quadcopter, and I'm gonna set up a tripod somewhere with this camera, and we'll go outside and fly it. It's just a little bit dark, but of course that just helps me a little because I can see it better. Usually in the sun, you can either have polarized sunglasses, just regular sunglasses, or you can get skins for your quadcopter. I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's go with a rainy day. Alright, so in my front yard, it's an okay position. So now we're gonna get it up into the air. Have this HDR-CX 290 here, show you how to do the remote. Got 3 cameras recording simultaneously, so it should capture all the angles. Let's hope nobody's around here. Oh, by the way, before you start flying, make sure to know all how high you can go, where you can go. It could be totally illegal in your city, so always make sure that you can fly these things. Now here in Sugar Land, there is a law. I'm well under it. Let's go. Okay, so I'll turn on this camera here, and right here where I insert the battery, that's also where you can access the USB port for calibrating. See, green, red, 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 green, red, red, red. Remote's here. So calibrate it 5 times and pick it up, spin it around, turn it this way, spin it around. Believe it or not, this is actually how you calibrate it. So I'm gonna pack the battery securely into the quadcopter body. Nothing's coming out. Now we wait for the GPS to kick in. On this quadcopter, it's supposed to be just green blinks, but as you can see, it's kind of cloudy out here. That's recording compass direction. Should be recording GPS location just a little bit. Might have already done that, but I think it's got a hook on the satellites. Let's launch it. And so on this remote, you don't just push this up, nothing happens. Instead, you push it this way. See? Blades are spinning. Now, unfortunately, on the cameras I'm using, you can see the prop wash effect where they look like they're spinning really fast and then slowing down. But just ignore that. They're spinning really fast. You won't want to get your finger stuck in it. So now, I'm just going to push up the altitude and it's going to go up. Ready? Oh, it's up! Haha! Oh, yeah! I'm gonna bring it down for the camera. That's how you get it up. We're kind of past the hard part. So now, let's see, you can rotate it. Of course, rotates. This one's a little unstable. Doesn't matter. Whoa, 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 whoa. I used the direction sticks there. So now you see the direction stick moves it. Moves it different directions based on where you want to go. So you can see the GPS keeps it pretty stable. Let's bring it up. All right, so on these drones, you can set a limit just to see how high up it is. I'm gonna set the remote down for just a second. Don't worry, still in control of it. I'm pointing my little camera up there. See it way up there? That's pretty far, but it's only like 20 meters up in the air. So I'm not going over my limit. You can see I can still rotate it and everything. So I think it's time to bring this puppy back down to earth, and that's pretty much it for quadcopter flying. It's not as hard as you think. So hope you found this this video useful for anything. If not useful, probably just got a good laugh out of it. I think I know a few friends who might watch this and just get a laugh. So, how to set up and fly a quadcopter, pretty easy. Landing is pretty easy too. And that's it. It's back down to the ground.